She's had no problem doing her job in the past. However, when feelings start getting in the way and cause her to mess up, Ava has to use her survival instincts if she wants to live in a world where everyone is out to get her. Peter steps out of a busy airport in France and sees a beautiful taxi driver waiting in the car park. He is smitten by her beauty and quickly makes his way to her. She is professional and quickly helps Peter into the car. On the drive, she and Peter have a conversation that quickly turns flirtatious. Ava pulls into a deserted highway and Peter is excited, hoping to have a happy ending. The woman and Peter speak for a while and then she asks him what he's done to have someone decide to execute him. Peter thinks that his friends have pulled a prank on him, so he fetches his phone to call them. The woman suddenly shoots his hand, revealing that she's not messing around. After finishing her job, the woman calls her boss and mentor, Duke, to tell him that the job is done. Unbeknownst to her, another woman had been following her and had recorded her conversation with Peter. On the plane ride to Boston, the woman is revealed to be Ava, a professional assassin. She had a great childhood and was a rising star, but she succumbed to alcoholism. This humiliation made her join the army and she hasn't been home in 8 years. She arrives in Boston and checks into a hotel. She's been sober for the past 8 years and has tried hard to stay true to her path. Meanwhile, the woman who was following Ava turns out to be Camille. She reports back to her father / the leader of the organization that Ava works for, Simon. Simon isn't happy with how Ava talks to the victims, asking them if they know why they're being killed. This feels like a violation of the organization's terms. He calls a hitman in Boston, telling him to watch Ava until the time is right. Ava goes out for her daily jog, and when she gets back, she gets a gift box with cash, weapons, and a passport. She also watches news of the mysterious assassination on TV. Later, she attends a concert where her little sister Judy is performing. Judy is surprised to see Ava after all these years, but she's also angry at Ava for alienating her family. The two sisters have a brief argument that ends with Judy telling Ava that their mother is in the hospital. The next day, Ava goes to the hospital to see her mother Bobby. She's reluctant to enter the hospital room as the two have a very strained relationship. It turns out that Ava had found her father cheating. Afraid of being caught, Ava's father had accused her of stealing his money to buy alcohol. Bobby sided with her husband, and this betrayal made her leave her family behind and join the army. Bobby invites Ava into the room, and then the three take a walk outside the hospital. They have time to reminisce on the old times. Ava gets information on her next job, which is eliminating a German general in Saudi Arabia and making it seem like an accident. Ava quickly takes on the job and approaches her target, using her beauty to lure the general into private quarters. The general's guards try to interfere and ask Ava a few questions, but she answers them well since she's been briefed by Duke. Ava and the general go to an office and start getting mushy. However, Ava quickly injects poison into the general's toes and starts watching him slowly get paralyzed. She questions the general as to whether or not he knows why he's being killed. Suddenly, she hears the general's guards coming, so she quickly arms up to defend herself. She also slits the general's throat so he can die quickly. After incapacitating a few officers, Ava asks one of them if they knew she was an assassin because of her answers earlier. Ava then exits the room and pretends to be wounded, so a police officer escorts her safely outside the building. Ava deals with a few other officers before escaping for good. Ava quickly seeks out Duke and explains everything that happened, asking why he gave her the wrong intel and why he wants her dead. Duke defends himself, saying that this wasn't his own doing and that maybe something changed with the debriefing. He promises Ava that she'll be okay, but Ava wants to take a few days to settle down. Duke supports the idea and wishes Ava a happy time. Later, Duke visits Simon's house in British Columbia and asks him about the fake intel. Simon agrees it was a mistake, but after Duke leaves, Simon tells Camille that Ava is a loose cannon that needs to be stopped. Ava goes back to Boston, feeling happy at the prospect of taking time off. On the other hand, Simon calls his contact in Boston, telling him that the time is right. The hitman follows Ava on her evening run and attacks her. After a fierce struggle, Ava manages to defeat the hitman. She quickly seeks out Duke again, this time angry that he lied. Duke maintains his innocence and asks Ava to trust him one last time. The two have a moment since Ava views Duke as a father figure. She agrees to let him handle things and then leaves. Duke goes to Simon's house, realizing that he is the culprit behind Ava's attempted assassination. Simon confesses that he is indeed responsible for sending assassins after Ava. He wants Simon to call off the hit order on Ava, but Simon refuses. Duke draws his gun, but Camille points a weapon at Duke. Duke and Simon get into a fight, with Duke not understanding how the man he mentored and trained all those years ago could be so cold-hearted. After fighting for a while, the aging Duke is overpowered by Simon. He asks Duke if he has a last message for Ava, as he will personally end her. Duke says that his only regret is that he won't be alive to see Ava defeat Simon. Back in Boston, Ava goes to visit her mother, but is horrified to learn that her ex-fiancé Michael is engaged to Judy. Bobby is excited to see the family together and wants them to have dinner. On the dinner date, Judy is angry when Michael shares a personal secret with Ava as he had no right to. She exits the hotel despite Ava's apologies. Michael tells Ava that she can't come back and instantly fix everything, and also leaves. Later that night, Ava is woken up by a loud banging on the door. With a weapon in hand, Ava peeps through, satisfied when she sees Judy. Judy is worried because Michael never came home. Ava instantly knows where Michael is, but she doesn't tell Judy. After Judy leaves, Ava goes to an underground gambling den, and sure enough, she finds Michael gambling again. She is furious with him for hurting Judy and wants him to come home. However, Michael has lost quite an amount of money, and the den's owner Tony won't let him leave. This forces Ava to beat up the men and take Tony hostage. Outside, Ava promises to have Tony's money in 36 hours. Michael wonders how Ava could quickly overpower Tony's guards, but she doesn't explain herself. While playing cards with Bobby, Ava learns that she knew her father was cheating on her. She explains that she sided with him because she didn't want to end up alone. She knows that she made a mistake, but she feels that Ava will not make such a mistake to her child. Ava returns to her room and gets a phone call from Simon. He introduces himself as the man who wants Ava dead and gives her Duke's final message. He also sends her a video of him throwing Duke into the lake and promises that he's coming to finish the job. Ava is devastated to see the death of her mentor. She goes to the gambling den and attacks Tony's men. She then gets into a fight with Tony but cannot kill her. Instead, she gives her money to pay off Michael's debt. Ava leaves, saying they're even. Ava is so overwhelmed by everything that she seeks out Michael. She kisses him and invites him to run away together, seeing that Simon is coming to kill her. However, Michael refuses since Judy is pregnant. At this point, Ava feels horrible about the way she's been treating her family. She goes back to her room and cries bitterly. She succumbs to alcohol and drinks all the mini bottles in her fridge. She contemplates ending her life as she feels that she's nothing to live for and doesn't want to be hunted for the rest of her life. Suddenly, Simon storms into the room and starts attacking Ava. The two fight for a while, with each showcasing amazing combat skills. After a fierce battle, both parties are left weak, so they call it a tie. Simon leaves the room, promising to kill Ava when he sees her again. Ava realizes that the hunt will never end unless she defends herself. She follows the injured Simon, finally cornering him under a bridge. He's okay with his inevitable end, but he makes Ava promise that his family would be safe. Ava promises that and then shoots him in the head. In the aftermath, Ava gives Judy the bank account details of her offshore account with her savings, asking her to leave town and apologizing for being a bad sister. Judy wants to know who Ava is, but she doesn't answer. Michael gives Ava a letter that had been delivered to the house a while back, and Ava reads the letter from Duke, who doesn't want Ava to worry about anything as he's happy with the way his life has turned out. As Ava leaves, it's shown that Camille is tailing her.